Hi everyone, I am Anonymous Traveler. Today, I will talk about the issue of a divine spark within man. Also, I will share an exercise at the end of the lecture. This issue has been greatly misunderstood by many. Man has divine spark within, but it did not come from the Creator God. This divine spark is from the God of a manifestation, and this God never created this world. And to be blunt, divine spark within man is not the same in every man. Divine spark in man can be deteriorated and fade away. It requires continuous cultivation to grow. And this process of cultivation or neglecting does not end in one lifetime. Usually, the people who pursue the cultivation of the divine spark tend to do so continuously in his or her various reincarnations. And also, the same principle applies to the people who have no interest in this matter and neglecting it. So the strength of a divine spark within man differs greatly. Regarding the reincarnation, of course, you cannot maintain your identity. However, the cultivation of a divine spark is something that has a lasting effect even after physical death. This divine essence or divine spark is not something that can be taken for granted. That's the source of our true will and true intelligence. When someone ignores this divine spark completely over the many lifetimes, for that person, divine spark is extinguished. Such a person has no hope, since it is something within and no one can give it to him. Generally speaking, there are two types of people who neglect the cultivation of divine spark. The first one is materialists who do not believe anything beyond physical existence. The second one is the religious people who think their God is the source of a divine blessing, and as long as they worship their God, then the salvation is guaranteed. They think spiritual salvation is a gift and it will be given if they worship their God. So they have no reason to work hard to cultivate it. Both of these types ended up neglecting the cultivation of a divine spark. So, whenever they die and reborn through the process of reincarnation, their divine spark within would be weakened over and over. But there are people who do seek to cultivate divine spark, and those people have used various methods throughout history. Some used alchemy, some used meditation, some used high magic, etc. But the point is, whatever tool they choose and use, they try their best to cultivate divine spark within. By the way, I need to address something regarding magic. When I said high magic, that is a type of magic designed to cultivate inner divine spark. This magical operation is happening in the mental domain of man. Its goal is to train the mind and work on it to maximize divine spark within. However, most of the magic that people are familiar with belongs to low magic. Those magics are designed to achieve worldly gain. So, although magic can be used to cultivate divine spark within, most people are obsessed with pursuing low magic, and they believe that is what magic is all about. Cultivating divine spark is a serious task that requires various qualities in man. Intelligence alone cannot do the job. Even with the most advanced intelligence, without patience and perseverance, one cannot truly cultivate divine spark. So, I have been talking about spiritual alchemy in my previous lectures because it is one of the proven systems that offers structure and discipline to progress on this path. The thing about divine spark is many people misunderstand it. When one becomes interested in the path of divine spark cultivation, usually they wrongly believe in whatever hidden energy or inspiration appears in their mind first. If I compare our mind as a lake, usually people cannot see beneath the surface. And when one becomes interested in spiritual study and gets a glimpse inside his mind, he is like seeing the things below the surface for the first time. At first, it is exciting, and he tends to think he found his true essence or divine spark. However, true divine spark is something buried much deeper. One needs to reach the bottom of the lake to find it. So, in order to achieve that, one of the most useful tools is meditation. However, not all the meditation can do this. In order to sink deep all the way down to the bottom, one needs to temporarily disable the chains that bound man. I will call these chains as the hands of our inner monkey mind that pulls us all over the places. Their grasp is tight and strong, and therefore they function as chains. In previous lectures, I explained that our inner monkey mind is continuously jumping all over the places. However, also, it can grab us within its hands and shakes us all over the places. So, one needs to at least temporarily incapacitate this inner monkey mind in order to reach the bottom of the lake. I share some techniques to weaken our inner monkey mind from my previous lectures. Today, I will focus on meditation approach based on breathing exercise. In order to incapacitate this inner monkey mind, one can focus on one's own breathing. Basically, one needs to focus his awareness on his breathing. Just be with breathing. To make this easy, One of the useful tools is modifying the breathing patterns that I explained in a lecture about increasing prana intake by breathing. I will post a link to that lecture down below in the description box, so if you need a detailed explanation, please review that lecture. Such technique is very good at increasing the intake of prana, but also at the same time very good at calming down the mind. When one's mind is still, it gets easy to focus and visualize. And when one can focus on his breathing completely, one's inner monkey mind's pulling process gets incapacitated for the time being. However, just reaching this stage alone will not cultivate divine spark within. Divine spark within does not belong to this world. It has not been created, and it is not from the Creator God. Such spark is from the God of manifestation. So this spark does not belong to this natural universe that we are familiar with. So I came up with this technique. It is basically when our mind reaches at the bottom of the lake, use visualization skill to create a natural phenomenon that goes against the natural world. So, when one's inner monkey mind became still, now is the time to do today's exercise. For this exercise, you need to visualize a candle. At first, just visualize normal candle and focus on its flame. And when your mind is thoroughly absorbed in the image, change the color of the flame to black. There is a reason to use the color black for this exercise. Flame cannot be black in natural world. By turning the flame to black, one is performing the act of trying to connect to the unnatural world that is the domain of unmanifestation. This alone cannot give you a gnosis of the God of unmanifestation. Such gnosis requires systemic training with patience and perseverance. However, this type of exercise can be used to speed up the process. So I recommend to do this exercise along with spiritual alchemy practice. Thanks for listening and all the best.